In the name of Allah, who is the most beneficent and the most merciful. Anglo-Saxon literature. In fact, unlike poetry, there was no break in prose of Anglo-Saxon period and the Middle English period, and even the later prose in England was continuation of Anglo-Saxon prose. The great success of Anglo-Saxon prose is in religious instructions. The two great pioneers of English prose were Alfred the Great, the glorious king of Wessex, and Alfric, a priest who wrote sermons in a sort of poetic prose. The Angles and Saxons first landed in England in the middle of 5th century, and by 670 AD they had occupied almost the whole of the country. These tribes settled in England and made it their permanent home. They became therefore the ancestors of English race. The Anglo-Saxon kings, of whom Alfred the Great was the most prominent, ruled till 1066 when Harold the last Saxon king was defeated at the Battle of Hastings by William the Conqueror of Normandy, France. The Anglo-Saxon or Old English period is in English literature therefore extends roughly from 670 AD to 1100 AD. As we know that the literature of any country in any period is the reflection of the life lived by the people of that country in that particular period, we find that this applies to the literature of this period. The Angles and Saxons combined in themselves following traits of character, savagery and sentiment, rough living and deep feeling, splendid courage and deep melancholy resulting from thinking about the unanswered problem of death. Thus, they lived a rich external as well as internal life, and it is especially the latter which is the basis of their rich literature. To these brave and fearless fighters, love of glory, happy domestic life, and virtues made great appeal. They followed in their life five great principles: love of personal freedom, responsiveness to nature, religion, love of womanhood, and struggle for glory. All these principles are reflected in their literature. They were full of emotions and aspirations and loved music and songs. Thus, we read in Powell, music and song, where the heroes sat, the glee would rang. It is the old vigorous Anglo-Saxon language which forms the basis of modern English.